Hello, and welcome back to the JustJakeB Gaming Podcast, episode 44. I'm your host, Jake Burke, and joined, as always, by James St. Charles and Agent 69 himself, the master of disaster, the silent assassin, Ted Libby. Ted, you're talking about Hitman 3 today, but I want to know, just how are you in general? Let's start with you.
I'm doing good.
Give me one good thing about your life right now. Give me one good thing. Tell the people.
Oh, dude, it's raining here in the Northern California. Yeah, we get rain about 5 times per year.
It rained in Southern California today.
Oh, that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just a wintry day all around.
No kidding.
Statewide. Mm-hmm.
James, give me one good thing before we jump into the show. I want to know one good thing about your life.
It rained today?
You can't use Ted's. You can't use Ted's.
Oh, I can't use that one?
But I'll accept your answer. You know what? I'll accept.
Teleworking the whole week. That's another good thing.
There you go. There you
go. Going to work. And it's raining this whole week.
Because this is the JustJakeB Gaming Podcast, episode 44, where a new episode goes live on Monday morning, on YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud Monday morning. I really screwed that one up. That's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, you know. Once a week, we sit down and we chat across 500 miles, even though it's raining in both places. And we talk about one gaming-related topic and what games we are playing. This week, Ted is talking about Hitman 3. He played it. He's talking about it. But I have a news announcement. I have a surprise announcement for the two of you. I have beaten Hitman 3 as well.
Whoa!
And I'll be talking about it. Yeah. Save that in my back pocket.
Wham!
Yeah.
If you enjoy this show, remember to subscribe, like, leave a comment, and please, for the love of God, tell your mothers. If your mother is named Juliet or Janice, I want to know.
You win.
You win. Comment. Leave a comment if your mom's name is Janice. Now, there's no real news this week, so we're not really going to talk about it much. You know, KOTOR might be coming. I'm a little out of focus. Okay. Now, Ted, I want to know, what do you think of Hitman 3? And James, have you played any Hitman 3?
No, I watched some Hitman 3, though.
Okay. Have you played any of the IOI hit games?
I don't think I've played a Hitman since it was on the Xbox or PlayStation.
So you're out of the loop on this one.
For the record, these 3 newest Hitman games is called the World of Assassination Trilogy.
It's true.
Which is a great name.
Really great. This is the epic conclusion.
James, have you played any of these
newer
ones?
He just said no.
Never played.
Jake, you have played 1, right?
We played 1 together. Was that what we played? We played a decent amount of 1.
Yeah.
But now I've played 3, and I played all of 3.
Yeah.
And 3 is basically 1 and 2 and 3, right?
It's
you can update your saves.
Kind of the whole package. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ted, why don't you describe it first, and then we'll talk about it.
It's. Do you mean Hitman 3 specifically, or the World of
Hitman in
Assassination
general?
Trilogy?
Yeah, what this trilogy is.
Because it's strange. This game doesn't feel like the third game in the series. This feels like the third DLC expansion pack in a way. Not in a bad way, but in a way.
I don't think that's bad.
No.
Yeah,
and there are reasons against that too. It iterates in a lot of really interesting ways, but the overall. How do you describe Hitman? Hitman is a puzzle game?
Yeah, so Hitman is a puzzle game where you enter like these sprawling locations as the Hitman, and you're
Agent 47.
Agent 47, you're right. Sorry, Agent 69.
The bald menace himself.
The bald menace himself.
Bald barcoded menace.
The killer.
Yeah, and you walk in and you are given like targets to take down and kill in kind of not any way you want, but in various different ways. Yeah. And you're sneaking through these environments and you get like costumes and like by like taking out people.
You are infiltrating a clockwork world.
Mm-hmm.
And you are doing it by disrupting and manipulating that clockwork cycle.
Yes. That's a great way to say it.
So everything is predictable. Everything can be manipulated. And it is very, it's very goofy, which kind of makes this game fantastic. People do not act like human beings.
So that's the thing that I've been talking about a little bit with Maddie just here and there about the game is what I think is really cool. Oh, I really like this game, by the way. Ted, do you really like this game?
I do.
Okay, cool.
I really like all 3 of these games.
Yeah.
I feel like
I think the game is fun because it knows it's a video game, and that's totally fine. Like it's not trying to be a realistic assassination game.
Yeah.
And I think like Assassin's Creed recently has been kind of like, we're a video game and it doesn't matter. Like we're not trying to be real. And Hitman does that in this like clockwork world. That's a great way to talk about it. Is everything happens kind of in like a loop and a pattern.
Yeah, the greatest example is a security guard will walk in a loop, and you can either predict that loop, or you can strangle another security guard and walk up to that first security guard, and he just sees your security guard outfit and goes, "Oh, hello, fellow security guard," and then continues walking and has no idea. You are a bald man with a barcode on the back of your head.
And you're fine.
Who delivers every line deadpan with no acting whatsoever, and people just believe you constantly, and it's hilarious.
Yes.
You can infiltrate as key characters in the story as like the evil drug dealer himself, and nobody seems to notice that the evil drug dealer is now a bald man.
Yeah. There's like, all right, yeah. We've never met this drug dealer. Yeah, I think the game is really smart that it like, so there's different levels basically. I mean, there's just levels, and you're going after these targets. There's 5 levels. Have you gotten through all 5, Ted?
I believe there's 6.
Right. There's like the hidden one at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the 5 ones that they kind of advertise, and then there's the 6th. And all of the levels I think are really different. Now that being said, I haven't played Hitman 2, so I know that a lot of those levels are very unique and different. But I think like how they do the first level is Dubai, where you're in like the big tower of Dubai, and it's like an art show. The second level is my favorite, which is the English Manor.
The English Manor.
Yeah, it's very like James, this game's freaking cool. Okay, I'm just gonna dive into it. So the whole game,
Sherlock Holmes-esque.
Yes.
No, that's the thing.
James, fuck it. We're spoiling this part because it's the coolest part of this game. And this game,
it's fun.
This game is so cool because it does this. So James, there are different like mission tasks that you can do and like stories.
I should say, I'm gonna cut you off real quick.
Because
this is where Hitman 3 gets different from the other two, is they start to play with their own formula inside of their formula.
Okay.
Nice.
Take it away.
Yeah, so you get up into like, you're trying to assassinate this woman in her manor, and she like, all of her family is there, and they are about to have a funeral for her, even though she's not dead. Okay. But then her brother has been murdered. And so she's hired a private investigator, and you can take out the private investigator, put his clothes on, and then you have to solve the crime. And it's basically Knives Out.
That's great.
And you talk to all the family.
It's every single murder mystery, but you are also trying to assassinate.
So you're trying to solve the case to be in a room alone with her to then assassinate her.
Yeah.
It's
that's amazing.
Phenomenal.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's by far my favorite level of that game. Just the idea of it, and what I like about that level opposed to other levels is some of the levels are a little too big for me. Yeah. I think there's like a club in Berlin, and that level's very big.
Might be my favorite.
That might be your favorite.
It's favorite because in every single Hitman level up to this point, you're given a little intro video explaining your target, and it's always this very like flashy, like mission active kind of a thing. And then there's the one level which, if you're playing all 3 games all the way through, it's at the very end that doesn't have that, and you are just in a space and you need to figure out who to kill
by listening in. Yeah,
and it changes it up in just another neat way.
Yeah, and I think what's like, so Hitman, you're obviously going through this like puzzly world and grabbing items and disguises, and there are certain disguises that allow you to carry a gun, some that don't. There are like illegal actions that you can do, like using a crowbar to break open a door, and different kind of stealth things and mechanics, and really trying to like, however you want to play this game to assassinate the targets, and then going back and trying to kill them in like different challenge ways that like get you XP to then unlock more stuff in the level. In the level we talked about, the mansion one, so we're not spoiling every level, but like, so you can get in, solve this case, and then she'll give you this file, and then you can kill her, and that just counts. Or you can like set up this family photograph and like rig it so that when you take the picture, the woman gets shocked and dies. And so like, there's like just different weird things that you can do, or like weird shit that you find. Like in that level, I found a unicorn horn, and so bet my bottom dollar I was gonna kill her with the unicorn horn, and I sure as shit threw a unicorn horn at her head, and she died. I think like,
it is important to note, I think, that Agent 47 walks and acts like a Terminator. He is deadpan. Every action, he is clunky. They do not make him as a character fluid in any way.
No.
That being said, any object you throw at somebody, laser precision. So there are moments where you're just like awkwardly kind of bumbling around, and somebody saw me, and you run back, and then you just walk out with a fire extinguisher and overhand huck it. Headshot.
One shot in the head.
And it's just so ridiculous and dorky. It makes for fantastic comedy. I love it. On that manor mission, I will say, it's one of those things where I kind of knew the premise going in. I was really excited to take over the detective and solve the crime. So the first thing, of course, I did was choke out the detective in the field where his body is visible, and I can see it for the rest of the map. but none of the clockwork is patrolling that way, so he's fine. And then I'm solving the case, I'm doing the thing, waiting for the old woman to show up, and then she goes to the dead man's room at some point and starts monologuing just as a part of her clockwork thread, and I just happened to show up at that exact same time, and I just picked up a baseball and threw it at her, and just that's how I completed. Like I stopped solving the crime and I just hit her with a baseball, and choked her out from there and got out.
God, it's so good.
It's so emergent. I think we talk about immersion gameplay a lot. The stories you make just by playing the game, and that's where this game truly shines.
Yeah.
Do you tend to go loud in these games, or does it usually come together, how you're gonna kill your target?
I've had the most fun just winging it, just quick saving, one save, and just whatever happens happens.
Oh, okay. You can quick save.
In so many stealth games, you fall into this kind of
perfection
problem. Somebody looked at me.
Somebody saw
and
me.
It's over. My perfect score is my S rank is done. I need to restart the whole level and know that man will look this way when I walk here. In Hitman, there are times where somebody will notice me, follow me into a bathroom. I hit them. Somebody else notices. They walk into the bathroom. I hit them. So they're piling up bodies. And then at the very end of it, where it says you've been exposed, you've been compromised, and people know you, change outfits, walk out of the bathroom.
And you're done.
A bunch of dead bodies in there, guys.
Yeah.
And then you're free and clear. It's ridiculous. So I really like just winging it, and it makes for great comedy. And it doesn't get the high score, but it makes for hilarious stories later on.
Yeah, I think my best correlation of what this game kind of feels for me is Metal Gear Solid 5, where the story sucked and I don't care about it. Okay, in the Hitman, they're going after the Providence people, and you're gonna kill all the Providence people, and then good stuff. And it's
story.
Yeah, it's the story of Hitman, all right. And that reminds me of Metal Gear Solid 5, where it's Anarchy 7 is gonna decimate the world engine and the Turbulent 6, and you're like, sure, but the gameplay loop is how you get in and infiltrate something is really interesting and engaging. And every of the 5 missions, and the 6th one, but it's very different. The 5 missions is every scenario of oh shit, I have to do this now. Okay, this is an interesting way to go about this, and how to get in. And every mission felt very different, which I think is kind of cool. I think the first Hitman that we played, I felt the first Hitman game, the missions felt kind of similar but different locations.
Yep.
And this feels like each kind of each location really adds a separate idea or mechanic that you kind of have to get used to. Mechanic's not the right word, but an idea, I guess, is the best way to say it. There's a level in China which is very multi-layered. I would say it's the most vertical mission, and that really okay, I have to start climbing through windows and sneaking through here and really figuring out what stairs I can get up, and where other missions don't have that. So I think it's kind of fun that it really adds oh, I like this about this level.
Yeah. I will say this is of the 3 Hitman game, this is the most different. This is their conclusion to the story, which, by the way, the story has been as skippable as it gets, and it's almost funny. I think they know how silly it is. It's just super dumb, but they've been really hamming this up, and I think the narrative of that makes each level very different, but it also makes them feel, whereas the first 2 games, each level was a playground, this feels like a level in a story. And coming into that at number 3, when I truly have no idea what's going on, is a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird that, the Berlin level is, the person in your ear has been taken captive, and that's why you don't know anything. And it's oh, that's kind of cool, but I never cared about the person in my ear before, so it's a little bit disjointed in that respect.
I would agree with that, especially when the game is so dependent on replayability, and that you're going to go back and get these 600 challenges or whatever. And it's on that mission, the mansion mission, something happens to your co-pilot, and you're every time I complete the mission, I'm right, there's story here. It kind of is a little off-putting to replay it with the story again.
Yeah.
And I almost wish there was a way to cancel that.
It's funny, the older Hitman games got kind of chastised because they were the story here's not that good, and it took a while for people to be it's not about the story, it's about the playground, it's about the environments, the world of assassination, if you will. And that's where this game really shines, and so for them to kind of take the other direction and kind of focus on the story is a little bit weird. I think it's cool. I think they do cool things with it. and it's not that much of a knock against it because this is kind
it's
of
so
more
minor.
the same.
And it's so minor, but it's there.
It is there, and it shows itself a little bit more because I'm so used to just skipping that first story cutscene, seeing my target, and then playing around in a completely new location, plain and simple. And so that's kind of thing. I will say this game's really cool in that each Hitman game that has come out has incorporated the previous game into it. So Hitman 3, assuming you buy the other two, which there's some weird stuff about Hitman 2.
Yeah, and it's way more complicated to do on PlayStation. I should say I'm playing on PlayStation 5, and you're playing on
PC.
Yep.
And my IO Interactive account has PlayStation and PC games linked to it. But eventually, when they kind of figure out the licensing stuff, assuming you buy all 3 games,
it's a platform.
You'll be able to play the first Hitman level to the last Hitman level in the same platform.
Yeah,
and that is very cool. I actually really like that.
Yeah, on the menu it shows every level from all the games, which I think is really cool.
So it kind of makes the idea of Hitman being one game with DLC almost, as opposed to 3 different games where we're going to play Hitman 2 today and it's completely different than Hitman 1. It's not really like that. And I really do kind of appreciate that. It makes this 4 or 5 year project of theirs kind of one concise package.
And it definitely, I mean, these games are definitely unique. Like there isn't another game like this, which I think is really fun, where we get a lot of the same third-person action shit, which I love, but it's like this is just so drastically different and so comical. And I would say that the one thing I think is the game's almost weakest point, because it's too helpful, is you basically have like a hearing mode, or like a X-ray vision, where you hold down R1. Hitman vision, right? Hitman vision.
That's what we call it. I don't actually know what it's called.
Assassin vision. But you can hold it down and like Batman Arkham Asylum or whatever, you see like through walls and you see targets and you see who can notice you're in a costume or not. And I feel like I use that way too much as a crutch. Like I'm constantly just holding down R1. Yeah. And I feel like that really, like I could obviously I could stop doing that, but like just as a mechanic, it's like it's almost too helpful.
Too good. Yeah.
Yeah. Or I'm like, I could see through like 4 walls here of people.
Yeah. And I believe Hitman is one of those games where the difficulty is as you make it. These games are notorious. You can really amp up the difficulty. You can really amp up the challenge. IO Interactive is even known for making the elusive targets, which will be coming back for Hitman 3. Elusive targets are a new villain doing a new clockwork pattern in the same map that you remember, but you get 1 chance, no saves.
Yeah.
And when you die, you have failed, and that is the end. There's no way to go back.
Sean Bean was an elusive target in Hitman 2.
Yeah. So like they know that there are people who really want that challenge. I think getting through it without saving on master difficulty is called Silent Assassin or something like that.
Yes.
And there are a lot of really interesting ways to make this game tough, which is very cool. It's very cool to see somebody very good at it manipulating the systems.
Yeah, I would love to watch someone be really good at this game, because I can tell that I am not good at this game.
I am hilariously bad, and it's fantastic. I love this idea that I am a terrible assassin who just makes it through every time.
Yeah, and they just keep telling you like how good you are. Like in that Berlin level, this game is a lot about the stories that you have, right? And like I just remember like it being very difficult for me to like find these people, and I got to a point where like I saw the last one and I was so over like looking for these people, and he wouldn't walk into a pattern where nobody was, so I just walked up to him, cracked his neck, and just like everybody saw me, started screaming, and I just sprinted out of the room, and like I completed the mission. I was like,
I'm sorry.
I was like, fuck this. But I was like, that's like, I think that's the comedy of this, is like you can make it this super stealthy tactical game where like I just got to run in there, shoot the dude, and run right the hell out. Like
or you can just huck a fire axe over your head, and it. So one of the new weapons in this game is a fire axe, and you huck it over your head with laser accuracy every time, and when you drag the body afterwards, fire axe stays with them. It's just in their head. It's ridiculous. I would just walk past hallways with people with a guy with a fire axe sticking out of him, and then walk out wearing that guy's outfit.
Yep.
And it was totally fine.
God, this game's great. It's so
silly.
It's really silly. I think that's like the best thing about Hitman 3 is just like how silly. I mean, all the Hitman games is how silly they are. But and I am very excited to like, even after beating it, which beating it's a big word. But like I'm really excited to like go back and like play around in the different levels, and like I jumped back into the mansion and was like, I want to do like 2 or 3 more of the challenges and now focus on like, I know this map pretty well. What can I do here to kind of
right. How can I break this more? How can I manipulate this more?
Oh, this is a fun little room or whatever, you know.
Yeah, I am a little bit sad that this is their end of the trilogy. It feels like the least amount of maps. I think I could be completely wrong on that.
I mean, it looks like it from the main menu.
Yeah, I believe it is the least amount of maps they've put out, and I don't think they've said anything about continuing DLC because, of course, they're working on their James Bond game.
Well, I think they are working not on DLC, but per se, but like it's going to be like VR support eventually.
Yes.
Like for PlayStation.
Apparently,
VR.
it does already.
Yeah. Have you used? Does it work on PlayStation 5?
I gotta buy an adapter, and
it's kind of a whole thing, and I've
just wait for the new one.
Yeah, it's
probably gonna be cheap.
How's it running on your computer, Ted? And graphics wise, like fidelity, what's
perfect?
Okay. Do you have ray tracing capabilities?
No, I do not have ray tracing capabilities. It looks the same as every other Hitman game on my computer, and that's fine. You know, it plays the same, it feels the same, it looks the same. No complaints on that end.
I would say that the game looks the same like it did when I played the first Hitman or whatever, Hitman 2. Like maybe it looks a little better, but not much. But the thing that is standout is the ray tracing and the lighting.
Yeah, and there are a couple levels that seem to really emphasize that neon.
Yes. I mean, the neon lights in China is like, I was like, oh, this game's kind of cool looking. It's got a look, because it's like more cartoony. It's not trying to be like insanely realistic. And there was a corner I turned, it was just all these neon signs up a staircase, and I was like, if this is what they're looking like now, like holy crap. Like bring on more ray tracing capabilities. Ooh, I just kicked my computer. But no, I'm really excited that I jumped in on it on a whim, because it's pretty fun. Like I'm actually like really enjoying it and excited to keep playing Hitman. I think it's a great, differential experience. I think is kind of like the best way.
It's an emergent experience, an exercise in messing with this clockwork world. It's very cool. Yeah,
and it makes me so excited for James Bond.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
it makes me wonder if resources may have been. If this game could have been better if they didn't know another thing was in the works. That's not something we'll ever know. I shouldn't judge a product based on that.
Is it going to be third person?
James Bond, I would assume James Bond is third person.
I would assume it would be very similar to this. This is kind of what they do at this point.
I think it's going to be... right, GoldenEye and Nightfire.
GoldenEye, Nightfire, Agent of Fire.
Mm-hmm. I think their James Bond game, now just talking about it, I think it'll be very similar to this in like you are assassinating targets. But I think there's going to be a lot more action moments. Like in this game, there are like a few action moments that I think there will be.
So, not to keep bringing back the specific levels, but like I did notice what Hitman 3 does that the other games don't do is they do a lot of those more cinematic elements. The Berlin level, the Berlin level really speaks to me of like you just start in front of a gas station. It's very ominous, and as you walk into the nightclub, into the rave, like the music starts bumping, the bass starts, and by the time you actually walk out into the neon lights dance floor, like the beat drops. And I don't know if that was just luck, but I felt like I was in a John Wick movie.
Yeah,
John Wick.
It feels so much like John Wick, that level.
It feels very John Wick inspired, and you're kind of pushing through the crowd quietly. So they definitely went for a more cinematic look, which makes me think that they are practicing, they are exercising their cinematic muscles. Yeah. So I'm excited for the future of IO. I think they can make great stuff.
Yeah, and I love that they're their own studio. I mean, they are not owned by anybody, and they publish their own stuff. I think it's really cool that
they're licensing the IP for Hitman?
They own that. They own the IP.
They
bought it from Square Enix.
Because there's a movie. Did they just...
So IO used to be owned... Well, they used to be private with Hitman. Square Enix bought them, and they bought the Hitman license.
Okay.
And then IO went by itself again, and then the Square Enix basically like gave it to them for like no money. Yeah. They were like, we just take the license.
They had some success. They sold a lot of Hitman 2016, but not enough for Square Enix, to a point where Square Enix thought they were a failure, and they asked to buy themselves out, basically, and Square Enix gave it to them because they said this is a failure of a product.
Yeah, they said this property won't catch on.
Yeah. It's insane. It's an insane story.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I think I saw today is like #1 UK charts and all that. So it's selling well.
UK loves Hitman. I don't know what it is. That is a very
they probably gonna love James Bond. So
and I definitely think this game comes out in the perfect time. There is nothing else out in January, and it is just here's the new game. You want to just try something out? And James, when this game goes on sale, which it will because all the Hitman games go on sale.
I would bet
I would-
you they will make a packaged
Yes.
all 3 games in one deal, like almost like a game of the year, like the World of Assassination, the package very soon here. I recommend it to anyone who has not dived into these games yet. They're very fun.
It's very fun. I can't wait to go back into certain levels that like I've only played once and like really see all the different assassination stuff. Because James, the cool thing it does at the end of this game, which if you've seen a video, then you know, but you finish a mission and like a grid pops up with all of the different challenges, and it'll like illuminate the ones you got. And you're like, how did I only get 4 when I thought I did a lot in this level? Like, and you're like, oh, there's 65 challenges here. Like, oh fuck.
Yeah, there's 65 different ways to mess around with this world. It's very cool.
It's really cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So I definitely recommend it. I think it's a fun game. I'm
Yeah, it's on Epic Game Store exclusive, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So there'll probably be some deal there, or they'll have some
and
coupon.
I want to say that is not a forever exclusive. I believe that's a
No,
year,
probably.
and then it goes to Steam and other platforms.
Is Hitman
How long
2
until
on
they
Steam?
release all the first and second levels on 3? Is there a time frame?
So, the Hitman, it is all technically available. The problem is where you bought it matters. I believe if you buy Hitman 3 right now for the first 30 days, you get Hitman 1 for free. Hitman 2 is in a weird licensing deal right now where it's like the copy I own does not transfer over to my PC. Kind of weird, but they have said a couple times now that they plan on fixing all that, and as long as you have the different Hitmen on your IO interactive account, it should work eventually.
Okay.
Okay.
It's kind of a weird thing, kind of complicated. It's not a big deal, and they've said they're going to fix it, but that is an issue of like, I own multiple copies of all 3 games, and they do not all work on Hitman 3 right now.
That's interesting.
Which is built as a
platform.
Yeah.
As a platform.
Yeah, no, it literally like when you boot up the menu, it says like Hitman 1, 2, and 3. Like it's not just the Hitman 3 game.
Yeah, it's a collection.
Yeah, it's definitely a collection.
So we will, I will keep people posted on that.
I think we'll be definitely talking about Hitman 3 a lot more throughout this year. I think.
Yeah.
I think just as different things arise, and I really enjoy it. I'm very excited to keep playing it, and I don't know.
Yeah. It's cool.
It is cool. That's a good way to say it. It's just cool.
Yeah, it's cool. I think all the Hitmans have been a very neat product, and I'm glad to see it end strongly like this.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It'll come back. I'm super excited for James Bond. Like I'm really stoked now for James Bond, and what this company's going to do with a major IP, is cool. Do you have any final little questions, James, or things that we didn't cover that you want to know?
I think you covered over the one thing I want to know is like what you didn't like, but you addressed that pretty well.
Yeah, the platform issue.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I will say that has never been an issue for me, but I did read this. A lot of the Hitman games have had a leaderboards kind of multiplayer, where people will do almost like a game of like horse. People do a kill in a very specific way and then post it, and then you can try and do that same kill in that specific way faster.
Oh, that's cool.
And apparently that hasn't quite been added yet, but they say they want to add it in later. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is kind of post-release stuff that not really a complaint, and they say they're going to fix it. So
actually, I have a question for you, Ted, about this game.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been playing it. So in the menu, there's like a game modes tab, and it's like Sniper Assassin. And I own Hitman 3, and it's on my game.
Mm-hmm.
I can't play Sniper Assassin. Is that only a part of Hitman 1 or 2?
That is one of the things that they will be adding later.
Okay. It's very weird that it's like on the menu, but grayed out.
Yeah. I think a lot of the kind of funsy side stuff they are going to be adding in later.
Okay.
I'm not sure why or how. I think it has to do with leaderboards and networking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just kind of weird. This is just odd.
Yeah, I think they knew what they wanted to come out on release day, and they knew what they couldn't, and they just took those losses.
Any glitches or game-breaking bugs?
No game-breaking bugs.
If there were, they'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
And I would love them.
I think there probably have been glitches, and they just fit the game so much that it's kind of great.
Yeah. This game is about not acting correctly, not doing things quite right.
Yeah, I mean, because the way you've said it perfectly, Ted, was it is a continuous loop of stuff, and you come in as the variable, and what are you going to fuck up?
Yep.
What parts are you going to take away? Oh,
yeah.
I strangle so many people. I strangle them, and then I just put them in boxes.
Dude, I throw things at people. I think it's so funny that no matter what you're doing, no matter where you are, you just overhand huck something, hits them right between the eyes every single time. It's so dumb. And then I'll pull out the pistol, which is classic third person, and I'll miss.
Oh yeah.
And then I'll just pick up a brick and throw it, and just woo, boom, boop. knock them out.
There's a little part in the level, James, where you have to like prove that you're a good bodyguard by throwing knives at moving targets on the top of a skyscraper. And there's no fucking way this would ever work. And because of the like auto lock, you like throw it and the target goes like this, and then you're like, as it coming back, you hit it with the knife that you threw like a while ago, and it's like, you're like, all right.
Yeah, this game is constantly pretending that you're the best assassin in the world, and you're so not, but nobody ever lets in on the joke. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, I killed a woman with a unicorn horn. That's all you gotta know. It was great. In her private little like crying room. That's all you need to know. But you know what else we need to know, guys? Enough about Hitman 3. James, I want to know from you what you have been playing.
Okay. So I've been playing more Eternal Return, but nothing new there to talk about.
Yeah, we talked about that.
What I do want to talk about is something that happened last week on the Epic Game Store, which was Battlefront 2 came out for free with all the DLC. Incredible.
Yeah.
And so that community just blew up right now. It is packed in there.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
You played Star Wars Battlefront, and you did not invite me to play it with you?
I tried it out. I did like play. I was like, oh, let's just play a game. I didn't play too much.
I mean, he browsed the graphics menu. Like, do you really want to be a part of that? You know?
Do you own it on Epic Game Store?
I do. I got it for free.
I did too.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was like making sure like you guys.
My household is excited to check it out.
But
Sorry.
yeah, a lot of fun. It actually, so I played like the domination type mode,
Okay.
which reminded me kind of like of the old Star Wars, like Battlefront, like where it's just like massive. People are like in ships, and the jet. Everyone's like trying to farm to get to the like
The heroes.
heroes, and they're really OP. But you can still like get like those subclasses that still do some damages, and it was fun.
How does the shooting feel? Because I've only played it on console, and they do not feel great to shoot.
Clean with the mouse. I was doing mouse and keyboard, so I wasn't playing with the controller, but very clean. Like, and the graphics are amazing, and the abilities are fun. It was just a lot of fun. But then I know there's like different modes without heroes, which are probably more balanced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the heroes just like
They're great.
you want to go off. You want to like
You want to be those guys.
like 30, 40 people.
I hated heroes so much.
Yeah.
I loved him. That's definitely a game I want to play soon with you guys. Cause
Yeah, I would be down to just get in a huge lobby and like play with everyone.
That'd be super
I
fun.
love a good stormtrooper, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
And I love how they do the modes too. It's like when you like, it's kind of reminds me of Overwatch in a sense, like where it's like you switch sides or you like, okay, you lost this, so you have to go back here and you start with less health. And
yeah, is this scratching any Battlefield itches you might have? Because I've kind of gotten one of those.
Little bit of Battlefield, but it's because it just reminds me of the big Battlefield. Like
I caught myself missing Battlefield recently.
But
you guys remember Battlefield? Games.
Remember Battlefield Bad Company?
I think about Bad Company 2 every day of my life.
Yeah.
I had I had the medal for being a medic, and I had like 20,000 revives or something gross in that game.
Yeah.
I would just run into a hallway and just like revive people constantly.
I still think of how the buildings would like break.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just never the same.
And no one really did that.
But anyway, yeah. Battlefield 2, and then one more game.
Yeah.
Dota 2. But not the traditional Dota. The arcade. Ted, get back here. Hey, guys, get back here.
I'm back. Ted's gone. Ted left.
Take it back.
Oh.
Not traditional Dota 2.
This podcasting.
Not traditional Dota 2. The arcade, where auto chess came from. Auto chess that
I saw an article about this.
You know how auto chess blew up. Well, now they're doing the new stuff.
Oh, auto chess.
Tower defense is the new stuff now. Like Bloons. You heard of Bloons? No. Really popular tower defense app that everyone's playing. So yeah, there's a bunch of tower defense modes, and I've been playing those, and they're all like different types. So there's ones where it's like the enemies will come in a wave, and you put down your towers to like kill the enemies. That's how it is. It's just waves.
Okay.
And so you upgrade your towers, and one of them is like called Farm TD, and you just like build a bunch of like pumpkins and stuff, and sell them to get money to buy towers. So and you can fish too. It's amazing. So I've been playing a lot of that.
No, actually, I am very curious about this. Some of the greatest games, some of the biggest games of all time, came out of other games' arcade custom modes.
Yeah.
How is it? How are the different games?
So apparently there is like separate. So one of them is called Elements TD. It released its own standalone.
Elemental Tower Defense has been around for.
Yeah, so Elemental is a really old one, but they released last year during right before the pandemic. They released their own one on Steam, and apparently it's pretty good, like a standalone. But it was part of Dota. So the Dota one's dead, but now there's a bunch of new ones that have popped up. There's like 3 or 4.
That's really cool. That's cool to see that world is thriving.
And they're all different types.
A custom build your own game in a game type thing.
Yeah, there's one where it's just like a giant lane, and you put down your little towers, and so the wave just comes into the lane, and after about 4 or 5 rounds, if you're playing with someone else, your towers will fight each other. It's kind of fun, and you get gold if you win.
That's
oh my gosh.
It's a fun little mode. And then there's like boss waves and and the way you die is if you get overrun. So I can't remember. Cool. It's a big in mobile. That's all I know. But it's fun with when I think about that. Like custom games was such a big part of like Warcraft 3, and Warcraft 3 is dead.
Yeah.
So but it's still going strong in Dota 2. There's a bunch of them.
Warcraft 3 is not dead. They made Reforged.
Warcraft 3. They made sure it died hard.
I don't want to talk about it.
They remade
They remade it and they killed the old one.
That's a soft spot. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
It's like, hey,
Warcraft 3 is a great game.
It's like your parents came home and they're like, hey, look at what we got. This is your new brother, and then they forget about you, and your new brother's like new, but he's not good. It's just, they take you out back and shoot you. That's what they do.
Accurate description of Warcraft.
Johnny, you gotta go, but Timmy can stay. He's new. Weird.
He's new.
Ted, have you been playing anything else other than Hitman?
Yes.
Oh.
But I'm embarrassed.
What is it? You play more Pokemon Go?
Yeah, I'm playing more Pokemon Go.
Oh. Good.
You caught them all?
No, I have not. I have a sneaking suspicion that this game sucks. But I truly was not expecting to get into this. I bounced off of it when it first came out. No Pokeball puns intended. But I happen to live next door to a gym. And I live kind of in like a
Pokemon gym, not a real gym.
Pokemon. Yeah. Well, all gyms are closed. Pokemon gyms though open. And so my roommate came into my room one day and said, "Hey, I need to use your room because it's in range of the gym." And then he also said, like, "Let's take over our block. Let's like own our turf." And I live in kind of like a metropolitan area, so like I live about 2 blocks away from every Pokestop in the city. It feels like, so I am predisposed to like kind of have an advantage to this game. And so my roommates and I have been just going on little walks, just walking around collecting our Pokemon. With no love of Pokemon, this is solely to make the numbers go up and to beat out invaders of our territory because this is a turf war now.
Right, you started a turf war.
And so we are just walking around, mobbing up and taking over other people's gyms. It's kind of a lot of fun. I don't
like virtual gang warfare.
Yeah, exactly. I'm into it for that aspect.
Don't pull a Genghis Khan where you just spread yourself too thin, okay?
No. We are solely kind of the north downtown area.
Good. Know your limits. That's important.
So this game, none of us have cared enough to really like look into the actual like efficiency of how to do this properly, but there are people who do that, and I think that is scary and fascinating.
There are people that have like every Pokemon in this game.
Yeah, there's definitely like a collect 'em all kind of. I mean, it's Pokemon. Yeah. I don't care one little bit about that. I am here to make big Pokemon that beat other Pokemon and gain territory.
It's kind of like real Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. It's a fun little reason to walk around, which I thought was very cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go. Pokemon Go.
Yeah. Next week I will let you know about cheating in Pokemon Go in order to cheat games. Because we looked into that too. Yeah.
Great.
That was a thing early on. People would spoof their GPS and go to like some other like state and farm up the Pokestuff.
Yep. There are also apparently Pokemon, like the actual, the Pokemon company sells like a Pokeball that works in Pokemon Let's Go, the Switch game, and it works.
I remember this.
And that Bluetooths to your phone, and you can kind of play the game from this ball. You don't have to take it out of your pocket.
Ted, I have one of those.
Have built Bluetooth devices that you don't even need to touch anything. It just auto plays the game for you via Bluetooth.
Crazy. That's too much.
I had the first thing that came out, like the iteration.
Yeah.
and it was like $60 on account or something
It's
like that.
still,
I was
it's like $90 right now. It's still super expensive.
I'll try and find it for you, Ted, and if you want it, I'll give it to you.
Hey,
But
James.
I have no idea where it is.
I have a question.
That's fair. I would never expect you to know where it is.
It's somewhere.
Here's my question for James. Because Ted's gonna be very into Pokemon Go. Because I can see this rabbit hole. He's gonna go down. He's gonna travel to France to catch the hot air balloon Pokemon. He's gonna be crazy.
The ice cream Pokemon.
The ice cream Pokemon. He's going to
one scoop in the second level.
two scoops.
Two scoops.
We'll talk about this every time we talk about Pokemon. Vanilla.
I love freak.
He's gonna get the garbage Pokemon. No, but I want
That Pokemon does show up in my neighborhood a lot. Which
You're
is a lot
saying.
about my neighborhood.
So you're gonna be into Pokemon Go, but I want James. I want to get into a game with you when it comes out. I want to get into Pokemon Sleep. Okay.
Is it? Wait, I thought that released.
Did it release already? What about the brushing your teeth
out.
game?
That's
No,
also
it's-
out.
Oh my god!
I think all these are out.
Have you not heard about Pokemon Sleep, Ted?
No.
It is Pokemon Go, but you put it on your mattress and it measures your sleep patterns, and you catch Pokemon the better you sleep. And I'm not lying to you. This is a real thing.
That sounds so stupid. Oh my god, it's real.
Yeah, I'm not lying. It's a real thing.
No, it's actually like part of Pokemon Go. Like it's Niantic. It's the same company.
Yeah. So
Yeah, same
Pokemon
company.
Smile's out.
So,
Okay.
I can abuse this.
But Pokemon Sleep isn't.
Sleep is not out. I don't think.
So
Yeah. So Pokemon Smile's out though.
Okay, we're gonna get really into Pokemon Sleep.
I'm in.
Okay.
That sounds fantastic.
That sounds good.
I want to have like a 5-part podcast series for 1 month. All we do is talk about Pokemon Sleep.
That sounds.
I slept great last night. Got a Gyarados.
I got a Gyarados while I slept, baby.
Dragon.
Gosh.
I have only played God of War 2018 again, other than Hitman 3. I beat it. Great game. Play the main story. Can't wait for God of War 2. Bring it on.
It's coming out this year.
Oh yeah, I think so. They wouldn't
Or
have
it
announced
gets
it.
delayed enough, and that's fine. To where it comes out 2021 early.
Sony Santa Monica making a new IP too. They're
Wait, what?
They got a new IP in the works. Yeah, they have 2 games running right now.
Someone
And
else heading it?
the
Or-
rumor is that Cory Barlog might be there, which I'm okay with.
So wait, so Corey's doing 2 games?
Who knows?
Dang.
I don't know.
I was like, I feel like you'd put someone else on it.
I know. I'm very curious to see Ragnarok, this game. I also think it's crazy it's gonna be called Ragnarok after Thor Ragnarok.
It's gonna be fun. I mean, at least we know because you get the hint at the end of the game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what this is about.
Yeah. Hey, what is with video games coming out with the original title, God of War, Doom, Wolfenstein,
Yeah.
and then their second one isn't just
2.
It's
God
not.
of War
It's
2.
not the 2. It's not
Doom
Hell on Earth.
2, Hell on Earth.
Where
Why
is Hell-
is Doom 2 not called Doom 2 Hell on Earth? I'm mad. I'm still mad. Guys, we need to be the change.
I don't know why.
Just
I
call
don't
it God of War 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Elec-
Boom.
He said,
Title.
not me.
Thank you guys so much for watching the JustJakeB Gaming Podcast, episode 44. That's Ted, that's James, and I'm Jake, and we will see you next week.